Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So I am going to do a ghost swipe today. So I picked out my colours, I've got everything set up and mixed up. So the colours I'm going to use for the swipes is treasured gold, so folk art treasured gold in gold, platinum, and blue quartz. So just three colours. So virtually I want to kind of make it a little bit simple, not over the top in how bold it is. But the base colour, I've decided to go this very light purple. So this was used using eraldi di paulo white. So I used 36 grams of white, and then I added 4 grams of a light purple to it to give it this extra lighter purple colour. Then I added 180 grams Australian floetrol. The three folk art treasured gold colours, 4 grams paint and 12 grams Australian floetrol. So all of these are mixed up and ready to go. I've got my swipe cards ready. I've got paper towels ready. So what I'm going to do is do the base coat. I'm just going to move these out the way first. So with the base coat, I am going to pour most of it on, spread it around with my palette knife, and then tilt it until it's over all 4 corners. So that's the bit I'll get stuck into, but I'll do that off camera so I don't bore you guys with that. So I think that is all I really needed to say before we get started. All right, just going to pause it and I'll come back once the base coat's done. Okay, there we go. Purple base coat is done. I always leave a little bit in the bottom of my cup in case I need to do any touch-ups, but I don't always have to, but just in case. So now that we've done that, I am going to get paper towel ready to wipe off my swipe card and get my coloured paints. So here I go. I think I might go the gold at the bottom because I think that's going to be the most dramatic out of them. So if it's at the bottom, then it hopefully won't be so dominant. So that is the plan. So I wanted to go from the half to the other half, start off the canvas. And I'm just going to do a big wavy pattern. Awesome. Nice and even. That's good. That's what I was hoping for. I didn't want it to be too heavy at one side and light at the other. So now we go the silver. And I'm going to do a similar thing. Start off the canvas. And I'm not completely doing the same. I'm doing a very similar wave, but it doesn't have to be exactly the opposite way. The more colours you do, the less even you have to do your thing. I just like doing a wavy line because I find it gives me different interest in it. Now we've got the blue, which I am going to do waves a little bit more across them again. One little drip is going to drip off, so I'm going to make it go here. Well, it was going to drip. Come on. There we go. I'd rather it be where I want it to be than drip where I'm not sure it's going to go. So that's it. Get your swipe card, start half off the canvas and just start doing your swipes. And be careful you don't hit the canvas with your knuckle. And then I'm just moving along. And continuing to swipe. Doing some shorter, some longer. Giving it different peaks. Turning my card around because it's slightly bending at the tip. And we just keep moving along. It's not going to be overly bold because I haven't got too dark a colour in this one. If you want a bit more boldness, add a dark, pardon me, add a darker colour. I was going to add a dark purple, but I decided against it last minute. I'm trying to do some a little bit more subtle lately. And then the last one, never push down too hard at the edges. You will hit the canvas and it will leave marks. So, beautiful lacing coming up, or cells, whichever you want to call it. Really, really nice. So you're not going to notice the pewter a lot until it dries. It kind of blends in a little bit, but you do see the gold and the blue. And see, by having my different, you do that wiggly line closer or further apart, you will get, so the gold's kind of swiping down in larger distances. When if you make that narrower, you'll get it in nearly every swipe. So there's always different ways of different kind of effects that you will get by changing it a little bit. Now I'm going to rotate my canvas. I think that should still be in camera view for you guys. I'll check in a second once I get all this paint off my fingers. I'm quite liking this. It's not overly dramatic, which I think sometimes it's good to do things that aren't too full on. So now we've rotated it. I better check that I'm in the middle in camera. Yep, I'm still in camera angle. Now we just get another card and we just go back to where we were, start half off the canvas and try to grab the paint where you grabbed it last time. So it's you're taking from the same area, and I can see that from here. It's right there. So we're going to go from here. Move along. And I'm not pushing down at all, really. There's a slight bit of more the weight from the card is what's actually going. If you push down too hard, I find sometimes you take too much of the colour away. And here we go, just keep swiping along, giving yourself different peaks and different finishes. Awesome lacing is developing. I love this one. So I get more lacing when my opaque colour goes over the metallics. And because I've got the purple gaps in the centre from where I did the zigzags, there was missing spots. It's wiping that opaque over the metallics, which is making it all come up in these beautiful cells. I just turned my card around because it was getting a little bit soggy. And I'm just continuing all the way along. Last part, always be careful. There we go. So this is it. This is virtually the artwork completed. The only thing I usually do from here is I just double check that, so on a couple of these corners, the paint just gets a little bit thin. So I just dab a tiny little bit on just so it smooths out and makes those corners not so, so you can't see the canvas underneath. It doesn't always do that. It depends on the colour and the brand. So if you do it now, the paint hasn't started to dry yet, so it makes it quite even. If you leave it until later, it sometimes doesn't smooth out as easily. There we go. And just if you see any other imperfections that you can use the base coat to just kind of touch them up a little bit. But that's good. I'm happy with that. Really liking the colours. So sometimes picking out colours, you just go for it. And if it doesn't look that good, just remember not to use those colours in the future. This purple will probably, actually all of these colours will darken slightly, more so the base coat. The other metallics will just, they would just get a lot more shimmery. But this base darkens just a tad, probably not a lot, but just a tad. So, and these show their best once they are dry, because all this blue, gold and silver or platinum will all shine up, and then you'll get this nice background where it just settles in. Looks cool. So this is it. Time for me to get the camera and bring you down for a close-up. Okay, so there we go. A little bit hard with those lights shining on. If I turn them off, sometimes I just lose too, yeah, it's a little bit dark without them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them on, but I'm just going to come down closer so hopefully you don't see them as much. But can't get the colour right in this one. But there we go. So we got the gold, you got the blue, was it blue topaz, and the platinum. But look how cool these cells have come up. They're not overly bold. but it gives it a really nice little pattern throughout it. Some cool effects. And they're different whether they're in their own colour or in the background or mixed together a little bit. Let's see, you've got the blue kind of going over that gold. And as it dries, these will look a little bit more better again. I wasn't really using big words then, was I? But there we go. Super easy to do. Once you get the hang of it, it actually becomes second nature, just doing the swipes. I would probably like to go back and do a couple of my older ones, which, what have we got? This is one of my older pieces. Sorry, my little power cords are in the way. I love that one. So that's the one I'm putting up on my wall. But let me just go back. There we go. So yeah, all come out a little bit different depending on what paint you use, kind of what size, thickness, what width your swipe card is. So these ones are only that thick. If you use that thicker or thinner, you'll get different effects too. How you do your paint on your canvas, your wiggly lines, or whether you do a straight line. Always interesting to see. But yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon for another pour. Okay, have a good night. Bye.